for a game that should be a very good one tonight. North Hagerstown 8-3, Middletown 10-1. Brian, first let's talk about the Hubs. They're coached by Danny Cunningham, who's turned this program around. He has a 31-22 record in his 6th season. He's the first winning coach since the 60s for the North Hagerstown High School Hubs as far as career record. So he's done a great job with this team, and they have a lot of skill position players. Their quarterback, Logan Kelso, can spread the ball around to a lot of receivers. When he hands off, he likes to get into the hands of Diez Johnson. They had 3 backs last week with over 65 yards rushing in their win against FSK 27-7. But Johnson could be a focal man tonight.
Johnson's a load. He's a very big guy, Jeff, over 210 pounds. Johnson for the season, over 1,000 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns last week in their win over Francis Scott Key. The Hubs kind of got the monkey off their back last week. They played the Eagles in the playoffs 2 years ago and came up short. But as Johnson goes, so goes this Hub offense in many ways. And he's kind of the way the rest of the team is, big and physical, big at the line of scrimmage. The Hubs have had a great season coming off a subpar 5-5 year a year ago. And as you said, Dan Cunningham has done a great job with North Hagerstown. But a big physical team in the running game, very solid. 2 or 3 guys will carry the ball, but you'll see a lot of Diez Johnson tonight.
Yeah, and talk about big and physical. How about on the defense? Caden Robinson, over 140 tackles. That North defense is pretty good, too, with Robinson leading the way.
Well, he's a big guy, and they have some big guys on defense as well. Robinson's one of the best guys around on the MVAL on the defensive side. As Jeff said, well over 100 tackles on the season, about 4 sacks. Big guy. We'll see a lot of him tonight. He anchors that front 7. It's going to be tough for the Knights to run on the Hubs. They have a good front 7, and Robinson a big part of that. I think an outstanding season, one of the best not only in the conference but really around the state of Maryland.
And speaking about defenses, I don't know if you can get much better than Middletown. 6 shutouts this year, 42 sacks, 21 interceptions, plus 17 turnover ratio. They just have an incredible defense, and they've had shutouts the last 2 weeks, including that first-round win over Winters Mill, 30-0, and Crown Brothers leading the way for them.
Well, that mom and dad will be proud of these guys, and I'm sure they'll have a lot of fun watching these guys tonight. Both Adam and Andrew Crown having great seasons, both well over 50 tackles on the campaign, one over 30 tackles, I should say, and it's been fun to watch these guys. They anchor a defense, folks, that's been phenomenal. As Jeff said, they've pitched 6 shutouts. They've only allowed 6.4 points per game on average. They force turnovers. They get interceptions. A team that has a plus 17 turnover margin. You do those things. You play good defense. That's why you're 10-1. That's why you're in the state playoffs. Once again, this Knight defense, very solid, and the Crown Brothers, a big part of their success this year.
Another player to note on defense is Ryan Gilligan, 17.5 sacks, 24 tackles for a loss. So they've got a number of good players from Middletown.
Hard to pass on these guys because of the pressure.
Right. Now for the offense, Middletown, Linehan, the quarterback. He's had a great year. He's produced 15 touchdowns with his feet and through the air.
They won't throw a whole lot, but when they throw, they pick their spots. You may see a trick play or two. We saw that earlier in the season when they beat Frederick with the spear play. 2 passes on the same play finished off by Pat McCarrick going down to Brandon Kline. But Kevin is a leader. The kids around him respect him. He has a good arm, great feet, as Jeff said. He plays on both sides of the line of scrimmage, plays defensive back and quarterback. And when Kevin touches the football, he's always a threat, sometimes more with the legs than with the arm.
Okay, so Middletown against North Hagerstown. This is to go to the Final Four in the state playoffs. What do you think the key factors are tonight for each team to get a win?
I think the line of scrimmage is real important, Jeff, especially for the Hubs. They have big guys up front. North Hagerstown cannot afford to turn the football over. Middletown is a team, as they've shown throughout the season, that can take advantage of that. If Middletown's defense plays the way it has, again, less than a touchdown allowed per game, I like the Knights tonight because of their defense and the fact they have the home field advantage. But the Hubs are ready to play. They're on a winning streak themselves. Very physical. Should be a great football game.
It should be. North Hagerstown visiting Middletown in the 2A West Final, the winner to go to the Final Four in the state playoffs. We'll have the starting lineups and the kickoff next. This is the 2A West Final. Winner to the Final Four, where the teams will be reseeded depending on who wins these final games in each region. And the kickoff by Paul Smith is a short one. Someone will have to field that. And decked for the first play. Sumlin on the return. And he's leveled by Tony Boyer. Great special teams play. So
A short kick by Smith, but with the bounce and the good special teams tackle, North Hagerstown will start at its own 15-yard line. They're from Washington County. 8-3 record coming into this game. They won 27-7 over FSK last week. They have a pretty potent offensive attack. Logan Kelso, the quarterback. Hands off to Diez Johnson. He rumbles forward for about 3. Johnson on the year, 1,033 yards, 6.4 a carry, and 10 touchdowns. Kelso, the quarterback. Redden and Johnson, the running backs. Twig, Hasan, and McMillan are the receivers. And the linemen, Dehart, Lyle, Bechtel, Malcolm, and Billy Campbell, who's also a great defensive player. Number 60, Billy Campbell, watch for him on both sides of the ball. Second down, 7 to go. The ball about the 18-yard line. And this time it's Sumlin, and he loses his footing and was also hit by Paul Smith. So to set up third down and long, here's the Middletown D that yields about 7 points a game. McCarrick, Hoffmaster, Crown, Gilligan with 17.5 sacks, and Morgan. The backers are Adam Crown and John Nichols, and a really good secondary with 21 interceptions. Michaels, Kline, Eiler, and Kevin Linehan, the quarterback, plays both sides of the ball. So third down and 7 from the 18. Hubs spread it out with 4 receivers in the play, 2 to each side. Kelso out of the shotgun. Fires right side, completes the pass to Richie Bayman. Bayman down the sideline, and he stepped out of bounds. It should be enough for the first down from North Hagerstown. Bayman on the year, 14 catches, 214 yards, 3 touchdowns. Big third down conversion there for North.
Huge. It's a big confidence booster for them, Jeff. As we know about the Knights defense, they have them isolated here on the near side. Just a little dump-off pass and a missed tackle. And Bayman takes advantage, picks up a first down for North Hagerstown.
First down at the 33. Kelso with a nice pass to Jarell Hasan. And Hasan taken down after a minimal gain. Tackle made by Brandon Kline.
Well, Brandon's had a great season. Big part of that secondary. 6 interceptions. That time a nice open field tackle, 1-on-1. The Knights do tackle well. They're great open field tacklers. Good technique. A very good defensive team, as we mentioned earlier.
Second down and 9. Again out of the shotgun. Now on the run goes Kelso. And he's upended by Rob Cochran. So Kelso with good legs. And pretty good through the air as well. 5 touchdowns rushing on 53 runs, averaging over 13 yards a carry. And Kelso through the air, 82 out of 150, 54%, 1,310 yards, 18 TDs, and only 6 picks.
That's real impressive. That's part of why they're here tonight.
Third down and 4. Sumlin with the carry. Sumlin still moving. And Sumlin appears to have gotten enough for the first down out to the 44. What a run, a gain of 5, but he was stopped several times, it appeared, and then was able to get the first down.
He appeared to be stopped on 2, maybe 3 occasions, but just broke tackles. And they teach running backs to keep the feet moving, keep the knees moving until the whistle blows. And this is why a great chance to tackle him there back at the 40-yard line, but he's able to shake a couple of tacklers, which against Middletown, that is not easy to do.
Penalty marker down before the play's inception on 1st and 10 from the 44. Sumlin, one of 3 running backs who gets the ball a lot. Sumlin 465 yards this year, 4 touchdowns, almost 9 yards per carry. And the penalty will go against North Hagerstown, an illegal procedure. Alan Culler, the referee, the umpire Tom Nittinger, the linesman Bobby Fowler, the line judge Don Metzner, and back judge Ken Spoor. First and 15. Kelso over the middle, completes the pass to Mike McMillan. McMillan with his 15th catch of the year. He has 1 touchdown and averages 14 a grab. And North Hagerstown close to first down yardage there.
The Hubs very aggressive offense. They're using the shotgun, now going with the no huddle. Simple post pattern by McMillan. He was wide open.
Second and 1. Diez Johnson bursts forward. First down, well into Knights territory now, down to the 42. gain of about 5 yards. So Johnson with the first down run. They've mixed it up very well with the pass and thrown in a few runs there, and they're moving the ball down the field pretty well against this great Middletown defense.
They average about a dozen passes a game. They've already thrown the football 3 or 4 times. They've really mixed things up well, and I think they've caught Middletown off guard a little bit here.
3 for 3, 29 yards passing. Down the field, and he made the catch. Wow, what a catch by Alec Nelson. It'll be first down near the 10-yard line.
How in the world does Nelson make this catch? Here it is again, all kinds of time for Kelso, and just great hands. Reaches out and able to snag it. Perfectly thrown football as well. Good coverage there in the secondary. I think it was Kline who was in man coverage.
First down at the 11. The option play. Kelso pitches it, and nothing doing there. The Knights sturdy on defense there, stopping Marcellus Sumlin. So it'll be second down outside the 10-yard line.
That play took a little too long to develop in the option. You want to be a little quicker than that, as the defensive ends and outside backers stretched that play out well for Middletown, and Kevin Linehan came up and put the finishing touches on the tackle. A loss of 1 back to the 12.
It'll be second down and 11 from the 12-yard line. 79 yards on this drive. 4 first downs already for North. And a penalty marker down.
Once again, something at the line of scrimmage. I think a false start, and that is the case. The umpire threw the penalty flag, so 2 penalties against the Hubs.
Well, that's the only thing that's stopped them.
Yeah.
Twice they've been penalized 5 yards. That's the only thing that slowed them down.
Well, the confidence they picked up in that 3rd down conversion on this drive's 3rd play was really pivotal to get them down inside the 20.
Logan Kelso already 61 yards through the air on 4 of 4 passing. Swings it out. It's Nelson again with his second catch. Breaks a tackle. Nelson down to the 2-yard line. It'll be maybe a little short of the first down. It'll set up 3rd down. 7:05 left in the first quarter. So Nelson came into this game with only 4 catches. He's got 2 in this game. Averaged 17 yards a catch and 1 touchdown prior to tonight.
So much for a scouting report. You come out here and facing, or you're expecting to face the power run. And as you mentioned, Nelson just 4 catches in 11 games. That really throws things off. Now a power package here.
3rd and 1 from the 2. Diez Johnson trying to get in the end zone and does. So North Hagerstown gets on the board first as they take up 5 minutes and 18 seconds of the first quarter and march the ball down the field 85 yards. And it's Diez Johnson with a 2-yard touchdown run, his 11th rushing TD of the season to put the Hubs up.
If Coach Cunningham could bottle a drive, that's the kind of drive you want to maintain. What a thing of beauty by the Hubs.
Tommy Evans is the holder, Chris Reid the kicker, and Reid nails it through. So Reid kicks his 37th extra point of the year. And it's 7-0 North Hagerstown with 6:42 left first quarter. They were perfect through the air. 5 of 5, Brian. 76 yards passing.
It's a very interesting way to look at things here if you're the Hubs. I mean, they balance things out very well, as you mentioned. They're no more of this type of offense here. They stack the backfield with 3 running backs, what they call the jumbo package. And Johnson is the trailing back. He's the tailback, and the big eye, the power eye. And that's just muscle and determination to get into the end zone. Here it is once again off the right side, a simple off-tackle run. Follow the beef in front of you and keep working hard for that goal line, and Johnson pulls it off. And the Hubs come out with a great drive here to start things off. As Jeff mentioned, they shoot up a lot of time off the clock, 85 yards, and they lead by a touchdown. And the Knights a bit surprised here. I think that no huddle also, Jeff, kept them on their heels and off balance, and I think it surprised Middletown a little bit.
5 passing plays, 7 rushes, 18 yards on that drive, but their runs were effective to set up the pass, and they got the touchdown rushing. So Reid to kick off from the 13-yard line. And the Knights, with a nice return. Juris Eiler with a return out across the 45-yard line. So about a 32-yard return for Juris Eiler. Here's the Middletown starting lineup. Linehan, the quarterback, a senior. They use Riggs and Hargett pretty much equally running out of the backfield. Gilligan, the tight end. McCarrick, the #1 receiver, along with Brandon Kline. And the linemen, Andrew Crown, John Nichols, Seth Hipkins, Brad Hoffmaster, and Greg Lom. First down play. And that's their feature back, Jimmy Hargett. 469 yards rushing on the year, 4.0 average and 4 touchdowns. Also caught 5 passes for 86 yards on the year. And Riggs will also get the ball a lot. He has 645 yards. So between those two backs, over 1,000 yards rushing on the season. Gain of 3 on that last play. 2nd and 7 from the 46. This time it's Riggs breaking free and getting the first down. Justin Riggs, who averages 6.5 yards a carry and scored 6 TDs this year, gets down to the 42 of North Hagerstown, a gain of 12. Here's the defense for North. Redden, Wilson, Everett, Bechtel, and Campbell. And Robinson, who has the 142 tackles, leads the linebackers along with Evans. Then Sumlin, McMillan, Walker, and Valentin in the secondary. 1st and 10 from the 42, so Middletown on the move. The fake, Linehan looks to throw, fires down the middle and completes the pass. And a big play, that's Gilligan, the tight end. He's a great defensive player, but on the year has 9 catches now, averaging 23.5 yards a catch and 2 TDs.
They don't throw a whole lot, but when they do, they're very effective. A quick rollout by Linehan. Gilligan wide open across the middle, beat his man Sumlin to the spot, and Middletown picks up their 2nd first down.
First down at the 18 of North. So Middletown moving the ball right down the field, trying to answer. This is Riggs. Slammed down at the 16. So Riggs picks up a couple. Campbell in the middle of the pack to make the tackle. And Billy Campbell this year, 86 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries. He's 2nd on the team with sacks.
And Kevin Reid, number 40, also got a piece of him there. His 63rd stop of the year. That was a shot trying to slow this Knight team down after 2 big first downs.
Redden, a 6'2", 255-pound senior. 2nd and 7 from the 15 for the Knights. 2 backs behind the quarterback. Linehan lofts it up. Juggled and caught. Touchdown. McCarrick with a 15-yard touchdown reception. And Middletown has closed the gap to 7-6. McCarrick's 15th catch, his 6th touchdown receiving.
Beautiful catch by Pat, who juggled the ball a bit but maintained his concentration and pulled in the touchdown. And when you talk about senior leadership or seniors on the same page, that's what we're talking about there. A great timing route. 2 young men have been playing football together for a long time. Kevin Linehan and Pat McCarrick. Beautiful pass in the corner. Great catch. And they're 1 point away from tying things up.
Smith with the extra point. He nails it through to make it 7-7. So Kevin Linehan with his 8th touchdown pass of the year. Came into the game throwing 46%, 860 yards on the season, and now touchdown number 8 against 9 interceptions. But Linehan and Middletown very strong on that drive. They go 56 yards on just 5 plays. And Linehan perfect through the air, 2 of 2. 17 yards running for Middletown.
The Westminster Owls last year had Kevin Clancy and Ryan Payne, 2 guys who hooked up quite a bit through the air. And here's a case here, again, 2 seniors with a lot of experience. Great catch there in traffic by Pat McCarrick. Just needs the 1 foot in bounds to get the touchdown. Thrown well on a timing route by Linehan, the quarterback. Just a straight fly pattern, as I mentioned. 8 touchdown passes now for Kevin. And McCarrick hauls down his 6th reception of the season. There's the scoring drive, a very quick one, just less than 2 minutes. And Middletown ties things up here with 4:34 to play in the first quarter.
So both teams marching it down the field pretty much with no problems on their first possession of the game. Paul Smith will kick off for Middletown. 4:34 left first quarter. We're deadlocked at 7. And Smith's boot handled at the 18-yard line by Jarell Hasan. And Hasan taken down by the Knights' Adam Crown. an 11th grader. 5'11" junior is Adam Crown. So North Hagerstown will have possession at about the 28-yard line. A 10-yard return for Hasan.
Well, so much for defense so far, Jeff. We've played less than 8 minutes, and we've had 2 touchdowns already, but 2 teams known for their defense, especially Middletown, who came up with 8 sacks last week in their 30-0 win over Winters Mill. And North Hagerstown went into Francis Scott Key. Key has only lost 1 home game in the last 2 seasons, and they come up short again this year. Both losses coming in the playoffs. Tough break for Key as they ended up 7-4. But the Hubs went in last week, ran the ball very well, and shut down Key in that victory.
Diez Johnson is surrounded by a swarm of Knights. And nothing there.
Take your pick. John Nichols among those as the leading tackler. That is what the Hubs are known for, the off-tackle play. They keep things in between the tackles sometimes, and Middletown very well prepared for that one. On the first play of this drive, it winds up being a no gain.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. The Hubs last year 5-5. In 04, they were 9-2, lost in the 2A West quarters. 03, they were 11-1, didn't lose to the 2A West final. This same game they're playing tonight. Maybe a yard gain on the play. So the defense gets tough as Marcellus Sumlin got the carry there.
I talked to Lauren Ridenauer earlier in the season, and we talked about the winning streak. At the time, they had won 5 or 6 in a row. Of course, they've won 10 straight now. And I said, you know, not to bring up something bad, but the Thomas Johnson game, what happened there? What have you guys done since then? He says, we didn't tackle well against Thomas Johnson. We didn't wrap guys up. It's not about adjustments. It's about fundamentals, getting back to basic defense. And they solved some problems after the TJ loss, and they've been perfect ever since.
Kelso on 3rd and 9 completes the pass. Down the sideline, it's Hasan. And he went out of bounds at the 27. So a great hook up there. Kelso and Hasan will go for 43 yards, but looked like he might go to the end zone, but did step out of bounds around the 27-yard line.
But a fly pattern here on the far side of the field. Hasan with good speed. He's matched up in man coverage. And he almost stays in bounds. Just stepped on the chalk on the far side of the field and almost goes all the way for the touchdown. Good athlete is Hasan.
Diez Johnson bursts into the secondary.
Very quick this time. He hit the hole much quicker than the 2 runs earlier in this drive. And what a difference it makes. He has that size and the speed to go with it. Very dangerous running back, over 1,000 yards this season. Just an off-tackle play off the left side from his tailback spot. Picks up a block from Sumlin, who's the up back on that play. And Diez Johnson will make you pay.
Johnson a gain of 12 on that play. 1st and 10 from the 15. And that time the Knights diagnose it. Sumlin stopped for no gain right at the 15-yard line.
Well, Kevin Redden can play, Diez Johnson can play, and Mike McMillan can play the wingback spot as we look at Coach Ridenauer on the Knights sideline. What a job he's done in less than, well, 2 seasons now, 19 wins and 4 losses. And he hopes to move on to the state Final Four next week. But they have that jumbo package, but Sumlin getting a lot of work tonight in the backfield.
Fake to Johnson. Kelso completes the pass inside the 5-yard line. And it's Mike McMillan with his 2nd catch of the game, his 16th of the year. And McMillan will give him a 1st and goal. So Kelso is perfect. 6 of 6 for 119 yards.
Well, Kelso's having a career night, and the passing attack of the Hubs having just a career night as well. It's been pretty much short swing passes, short out passes, high percentage passes that have been working for Kelso. And he spread the ball around pretty well.
1st and goal from the 3. 3 backs behind the quarterback. Johnson got the carry, and he didn't get much. So good stout defense by Middletown. They allow only 66 yards rushing a game. They've given up 31 here in the 1st quarter, but on 11 carries. So the average is less than 3 yards per tote for North Hagerstown. But they're mostly doing it through the air. 132 yards through the air, 7 of 7. Is Kelso. He hasn't thrown an interception in 4 games.
If you had told me they had 132 yards passing for the game, I would have been surprised. Here it is in the 1st quarter.
Diez Johnson stood up, and he got in. Johnson for his second touchdown from 2 yards out. The Hubs lead at 13-7. Johnson now with 12 TDs. He had 2 touchdowns last week in the win over FSK and 71 yards rushing. You mentioned through the air, 132 already. They only had 103 yards passing last week.
Yeah, this is very unusual for the Hubs, and I don't mean this in a negative way. This isn't what they're known to do offensively. They're primarily a running team.
Tommy Evans, the holder. Chris Reid, the kicker. And he puts it through to make it 14-7 Hubs, 1:19 left, first quarter.
Kelso has averaged about 13 passes a game. He's thrown just about half of that in the first quarter alone. $103 a week ago, over $130 tonight. Here's the touchdown. Johnson, the tailback, jumbo package, the same set they had on the first touchdown, but they go the opposite direction. Gets a block from Kevin Linehan, and follows a block there from Kyle Malcolm, number 77, and Johnson does the rest. Same offensive set as I mentioned, and 2 touchdowns for the Hubs, a 7-point lead. Malcolm 6'2", 260, providing the key block on that touchdown.
Danny Cunningham took over this North program in 2001. The Hubs were 4-6 that year, and then they dropped to 2-8 in 02. But since then, they've won 33 games, including 11 in 03 and 8 this season. Reid with the kickoff deep from the 13-yard line. And Linehan, the quarterback, is finally taken down. Good stop by Chris Lynch. There's the drive. 71 yards, 3 minutes, 6 seconds. North Hagerstown's second touchdown. So they lead at 14-7 with 1:12 left in the first. But Middletown answered the first time. Let's see what they can do now, starting at the 29-yard line. They had 54-yard drive on their first possession. Knights trying to answer again. Linehan, the quarterback, had the touchdown pass to McCarrick. This is Riggs on the toss. Riggs with a good gain as he crossed the 35-yard line, out maybe to the 37, a pickup of 8.
Sumlin got to him. Sumlin with a nice season, 71 stops and 2 picks. But still a great play on first down as they pick up 8 yards. We'll see a lot of him tonight. A good balanced attack. Riggs, Hargett, and Eiler, primarily the guys who carry the football for Middletown.
Second down and 2. And that might be enough. First down out to the 40-yard line. That's Hargett carrying the football this time. Hargett 4 rushing touchdowns this year. 1 interception defensively. Knights offensively, 2,363 yards rushing, averaging 5 yards a carry, and 32 touchdowns running this season. Passing, they only completed 54 for 998 yards and 11 touchdowns. 3,361 yards of total offense and 43 touchdowns for Middletown. Smith on the move. 1st and 10 from the 40. Linehan with plenty of time. Throws downfield, completes it. Again, it's Gilligan. He has his second catch of the game. Ryan Gilligan, who averages 23.5 yards a catch, with another big play and another first down as the quarter comes to a close. Everybody scored on each possession. It's 14-7, North leading Middletown after 1. First play of the second quarter. Linehan, the quarterback, could be gone. Touchdown, Kevin Linehan of Middletown, a 36-yard scamper. And it's 14-13.
He's efficient with the arm, but he's very dangerous with the legs, and he showed why right there. A play designed for him. It becomes a foot race to the pylon, and Kevin Linehan pulls his team within 1 point. Paul Smith on to try and knot things up.
If you like offense, stick around. These two teams on pace for about 1,200 yards of offense. Over 300 yards between the two teams after 1 play of the second quarter. And the extra point by Smith makes it 14-14, 11:52 left. And these kids are pumped up on both sides.
Yeah, both teams are. This is what high school football is all about. They're the playoffs, under the lights on Friday nights, and what a ball game so far. Both teams 2 for 2 in the football game with their first 2 possessions. Both are scoring drives that this time capped off by the Kevin Linehan run, 36 yards, just a play designed for him. Excellent speed by Linehan. He's also a defensive back, as we mentioned, 4 interceptions defensively, and now 8 rushing touchdowns in less than 12 complete games. And both teams 2 for 2, 14 apiece.
Explosive offenses so far. North Hagerstown 165 yards on 20 plays. Middletown 9 plays for 127 yards. They're averaging over 14 yards per play. And that last run of 36 yards by Linehan, his 16th touchdown overall on the season.
They average 32+ points a game through the Knights. The Piedmont Conference champs of the NBAL. Going to win their 11th straight game.
Linehan 9 touchdowns rushing this year. Sumlin on the return for North. And Sumlin out across the 35. North will start its next possession at the 36-yard line, 1st and 10. 11:46 left in the first half.
Now they'll try their fate from right to left. Will the Hubs, a team that has mixed the pass with the run very well, the offensive line doing its job, and the no-huddle offense in their first possession kept Middletown off balance and surprised them. And both offenses perfect so far.
Ball spotted at the 37, 1st down. Logan Kelso, the quarterback. Hands off to Sumlin. Minimal gain, maybe 2 on the play. We'll check it. That's Johnson on the rush. Diez Johnson with the carry.
John Nichols assisting on the tackle along with Crown, Andrew Crown, number 61. Andrew 6'4", 290. As we look at the time of possession so far, the Hubs have not scored quite as quickly as Middletown, but that's a stat, Jeff, that is often a misnomer. Middletown just scoring very quickly, and that negates the time of possession.
McMillan on the catch from Logan Kelso. So McMillan now with 3 catches in the game. That one going for just a couple of yards. So it'll be 3rd down and about 4.
Getting back to the Crowns, Adam Crown, the junior, 5'11", 200. A lot of beef in that front 7 for the Middletown Knights.
So 3rd down and 4 yards to go. They haven't had many 3rd downs in this game. Kelso with heavy pressure slings it out, and somehow he made the catch at the 45. A marker comes in, maybe a face mask. But that is another catch for Mike McMillan, his 4th in the game.
He has been really impressive in traffic. He had 2 defenders all over him. I think one got him with the face mask, and that is the call. Looks like the 5-yard variety, according to Mr. Color. So they'll tackle on 5 yards to the end of the play. But what a job here by McMillan in traffic. Here it is once again. Kelso buying time, rolling out, a little bit of a bootleg. 2 defenders right there, perfectly thrown pass. And McMillan somehow able to catch that with the fingers. Brandon Kline, good coverage. Brandon was right there, but again, excellent concentration by McMillan.
That play went for 14 yards, 4 catches, 43 for McMillan. Back to the running game, and North hasn't had a lot of success running it, but they keep the Middletown defense honest by running the ball a few times. That time it was Donaldson who had 9 carries for 79 yards last week, and on the year 404 yards rushing, 11.2 a carry, and 8 touchdowns. He's one of 3 guys who will carry the ball for the Hubs, along with Sumlin and the feature back Diez Johnson. So gain of 1 makes it 2nd and 9 from the 39. 2 backs in the I formation. Kelso again swings it out. This time it's Richie Bayman. Bayman is corralled and taken down after a gain of about 4.
Isolation play. That was a very similar play they ran the first play from scrimmage in the first quarter. This time it picks up 4 yards. Looking to get Bayman all alone and trying to shake a tackle or two and pick up good yardage down the far sideline. He's able to get around 1 tackler there, but he's held up just enough, and Juris Eiler comes in and puts him away, bringing up 3rd down.
That was Bayman's second catch, 2 catches, 17 yards, and look at that, Kelso, 10 of 10 through the air. Kelso got to get rid of it. Looking for McMillan, intercepted by the Knights, and then he dropped it. Rob Michaels, the defensive play. He's got a couple of picks already this year, and he's been good in that secondary this season.
This time Kelso just takes a little bit too much time, a little bit too much air under the football. It's underthrown a smidge, and in double coverage, really triple coverage, that's very difficult. And Michaels probably feels he should have had that football, but he gets credit for the pass breakup, resulting in 4th down for the Hubs. And North might call time here and talk about this. They're going to spend a timeout. They're inside the 40-yard line, and this is the proverbial 4-down territory, and they may decide to go for this here as opposed to a punt.
Well, they haven't been stopped, really.
Yeah, I mean, the way the offense is playing so far, you have a chance. You're inside the 40.
But again, this could be a momentum shifter. If they are stopped by Middletown, the Knights could then kick it into gear. 4th and 6 from the 36. That was the first incomplete pass by Kelso, and he almost completed it to Rob Michaels. Kelso 10 of 11, 152 yards passing.
Well, the numbers that stand out to me, we talked about the turnover margin for Middletown before the game, but how about Kelso this year? 6 picks, 18 touchdowns.
There's Danny Cunningham in his 6th year, 31-22 record. And that record's really improved over the last couple.
He's done a great job there, as you mentioned, a state finalist or a regional finalist a couple years ago, and after a 5-5 year, back in the state playoffs.
And they punt it. So North Hagerstown pins Middletown inside the 10 on the punt. A 28-yard kick, and a penalty marker is down, so this one may come back.
Appears to be a holding penalty, and with the field position the way it is right now, I'm sure Middletown will take the play as opposed, or will force them to punt again. Excuse me. They don't want to have the football deep in their own territory, as the referee talks things over with John Nichols, one of the captains. And that was one of those no-nos. If it's inside the 10 or inside the 20, you're going to try and inside the 10, you let it go, but inside the 20, you try and at least make the fair catch and get the better field position. But the ball got free and took a great bounce for the Hubs. But it's all for naught, as it's going to be a penalty, a 10-yard penalty, and it'll force them to replay 4th down, which they'll be in punting formation. So a big break here for Middletown. They would have been facing a long field of 90 yards plus. And they force the Hubs to punt once again with Chris Reid.
Yeah, huge break there. So Reid will have to kick it again. This time the line of scrimmage, the 47-yard line. Reid had done his job, kicking the ball inside the 10.
That's got to be frustrating for a punter. You do your job like that, pin your opponent back, and you're forced to do it again from a tougher spot.
So Reid with another good kick. Linehan awaits it. Linehan will let it go. It'll be down at the 21, so they lose 13 yards on the play as Jarell Hasan downs it for North Hagerstown. So that penalty amounted to a 13-yard gain for the Knights and gets them out of a tough spot deep in their own territory. So Middletown now with a chance to go ahead for the first time. They've run only 9 plays for 127 yards, and they've scored 2 touchdowns. Linehan with a 36-yard touchdown run, and then the 15-yard pass prior to that TD to McCarrick. So Linehan's been involved in both scores for the Knights. See the total yards. Each team well over 100, 188 for North, 127. So over 300 yards total offense for the game. And we're only 3.5 minutes into the second quarter.
And normally, Jeff, the deeper you get into the playoffs, the lower scoring the games are sometimes because teams have excellent defenses, and both of these teams do have good defenses. And Middletown statistically one of the best in the state, but tonight's just been one of those games where both offenses have been clicking, and you mentioned over 300 yards in total offense, and we're still in the second quarter.
Linehan, three-step drop, swings it out. Smith makes the catch. Great catch there by Paul Smith. His first catch of the night, fourth completion for Linehan.
Paul pretty lanky, 6'2", 170, long arms, a good target to throw to. Linehan a very quick drop back here. Does not spend much time throwing the football here, just giving the Hubs very little chance to get pressure on him. An isolated play, the ball was thrown a little bit behind, and Smith made a great catch, maintained his balance, and picked up a first down.
12 yards on the pickup for Paul Smith. And Riggs gets the handoff, takes it out to the 35, a gain of 2 for Justin Riggs. Riggs with 4 carries, 24 yards, averaging 6 yards a carry in this game.
Getting back to basics, just a left off tackle on the left side play. Picked up a tough 2.
Quarterbacks combined, Brian, 14 out of 15. Linehan 4 of 4, Kelso 10 of 11. Second down and 8 from the 35. The fullback Hargett gets the carry, breaks away. Hargett across midfield, down to the 47-yard line, a gain of 18 more. What a run by Jimmy Hargett.
It should have been about a 4 or 5 yard gain, Jeff, and Jimmy just breaks a couple of tackles, puts a great spin move out near the hash and does the rest. We talked about the balanced attack this Middletown team has, and Jimmy certainly part of the mix. A team that loves to run the football. They picked up over 215 yards per game on average this season on the ground, and plays like that is why Jimmy Hargett, just pretty much an individual effort, picks up the first down. Great play.
Ball marked at the 49. The fake by Linehan, chucking it deep. Kline makes the catch. He races to the end zone. Touchdown, Middletown. Brandon Kline with his 4th touchdown receiving this year. He averaged 26.6 yards per reception. He got 49 on that one. Middletown takes the lead.
Brandon Kline's had a great season, both offensively and defensively. He was a big part of the win over Frederick earlier in the season on a Cable 10 Game of the Week. That ball was kind of thrown up for grabs as it looked like it slipped off the hand just a smidge off of Linehan. Lots of air under the ball. It becomes a jump ball, and Brandon Kline wins the battle. And a quick strike once again. Middletown has scored 3 times, each possession very, very quick.
The extra point by Smith is good. 21-14 Middletown. 6:52 left in the half. The Knights have only had the ball 5 minutes and 14 seconds, and they put 21 points on the board. They've struck with big plays. Linehan with a 36-yard run and that 49-yard pass. And then the first TD was from 15 yards out.
Normally when you have more time in possession, you've been the dominant team because of ball control and working at the line of scrimmage, but that is not the case tonight. Less time in possession for these guys, and they've scored very quickly. A little bit of air under the ball here off of Linehan, but it becomes a jump ball, and simply put, Kline makes a better play on the football than Mike McMillan. Mike, I think, misjudged it a bit. Brandon hauls it in and does the rest with McMillan on the ground. He falls down, which makes it very easy for Kline then to waltz into the end zone. Man coverage on the near side. He turns around the DB, and Brandon Kline does the rest. And Middletown finds the end zone for the 3rd time tonight.
They have their first lead. Plays. Took them 1 minute and 39 seconds to cover that yardage and get in the end zone for the 3rd time.
You can't get up and take a break when you're watching these guys because you'll miss a touchdown.
Sumlin on the return across the 35, and Sumlin out to about the 38-yard line. A nice return for him. So the Hub offense back on the field. For the first time, they're trailing by 7 points. Middletown, we mentioned, only 5 minutes and 14 seconds of time of possession. They haven't even had a 3rd down to convert yet. they've been able to do all their damage on the first 2 downs.
Offensive coordinators will love that, that's for sure. Just draw up the plays, and it's been pretty basic. Look at the time of possession. The Hubs twice the time, but they're down by 7. You don't see that too often, but Middletown very quick in their scoring drives.
Middletown averaging almost 16 yards per play. They slowed down the Hub offense on their last possession. Diez Johnson is wrestled to the turf. Gain of a couple. Gain of about 4. It sets up 2nd and 6. 6.5 minutes to play. Yeah, North came out electrifying on the first 2 possessions, and then their last possession they slowed down a little bit. That was what enabled Middletown to take the lead for the first time. So Middletown D may be starting to settle in a little bit now, Brown.
Well, it makes you think if you're North Hagerstown, you have to go 6 for 7 or 7 for 8 possessions to stay in this game the way that Knight offense is playing.
Middletown scored on all 3 of its possessions. The fake. Kelso scrambling. Kelso will have to run. And he ducks under a tackle by Adam Crown. So it'll be 3rd down and short. 3rd and about 3.
Excellent coverage by the secondary. Kelso had nobody open. You see North Hagerstown 5 conversions so far on 3rd downs. But Kelso picks up the yardage. Nobody was open downfield. He makes this a very manageable play at 3rd down along 3.
Clock rolling, 5:27 left in the half. 21-14 Middletown with a lead. 2 backs in the I formation, 2 receivers right. Kelso looking that way. Incomplete. Good defense by Juris Eiler. Came into the game with 20 tackles on the year, and Eiler with the break up there, forcing 4th down, and the 2nd punt attempt for North Hagerstown is coming up.
Good timing by Juris, getting there as the football arrived. McMillan almost made another miracle catch. He's made a couple in traffic tonight, but that time couldn't haul it in. And as Jeff said, North Hagerstown forced a punt for the 2nd time. And I agree, Jeff. I think Middletown's defense is starting to buckle up a bit. Front 7's closing the gaps much better, and better coverage from their secondary. And a dangerous Kevin Linehan back to return. He's been averaging about 20 yards per punt return this year.
Nearly blocked. Linehan will let it go again, as he did the last time. Non-returnable punt down at the 19-yard line. 35-yard kick for Reid, no return. So the Knights will start at their 19. They began their last possession at the 21 and raced 79 yards.
Good pressure by Middletown, setting up really to block here as opposed to get the return off. And 2 guys were flying toward the football, among them Pat McCarrick, very good athlete himself. Now Middletown will face an 81-yard field, and the way they've been moving the football tonight, it might not take that long to punch it in again. Who knows?
13 plays they've had. 3 of them have been touchdowns. Keep it on the ground. Riggs. Hargett, I believe, is in on that carry.
That is the case. They have those quick openers. They hit the hole so quickly between Riggs and Hargett. Sometimes it's tough to pick that up. But Hargett, who's been busy tonight, not real big at 5'7", 175, but very shifty. The combination of he and Hargett, or he and Riggs, and Riggs is the big guy. Well, they're very similar in stature, I should say.
Gain of 4 makes it 2nd and 6. This time it's Riggs. And he gets out to the 25-yard line. A pickup of 2 for Riggs. So he has 6 carries, 30 yards, averaging 5 yards per rush. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 4 for Middletown. 4:12 left in the first half. Knights lead it by 7. They're coming off back-to-back shutouts. 6 shutouts on the season for their defense. They've given up 14 points already in the first half of this one, but defense starting to get tougher now. Held North to no scores on their last 2 possessions. Out of the backfield, Hargett, 1st down across the 35 for Jimmy Hargett. And the Knights will move the chains again. Hargett's 6th catch of the year. He averaged 17 yards a grab.
When you have a quarterback who can be a runner, very mobile like Linehan, buys himself enough time to roll out a little bit of a bootleg, and Hargett wide open. That play happened so quickly, giving the defense very little time to react and hardly any time at all to put any kind of pressure on Linehan.
11 yards on the gain out to the 36, 1st and 10 Knights. Linehan quick drop, fires again outside. McCarrick with the catch. Second ball he's caught tonight out to the 43, a gain of 7.
This
McCarrick,
play,
2 catches now.
pardon me, Jeff, this play has the effect of a quick swing pass, just a quick out to McCarrick. Picks up 4, 5, 6 yards at a clip. This time it picks up a solid 7. That's a good way to run your offense. High percentage passes. Again, the defense has to react very quickly. Difficult for the linebackers to drop back and pass coverage if they're expecting to run on 1st down, and a nice play there.
2nd and 3 from the 43. Little trickery. They fake the reverse. And Riggs twists his way out to midfield, a gain of 7. For Justin Riggs, now 7 carries, 37 yards, and another 1st down for the Knights.
Trick plays or something extra in the playbook are fun to watch, and they do have a reverse play in the playbook. They also have the spear play, but the way things are running right now, you just pretty much stick with the basics. An outside play by Riggs on a little sweep as he faked that reverse, and another 1st down.
1st down from midfield, big rush. Linehan got away from it. Fires, there was contact, no flag. It was intended for Ryan Gilligan. But Linehan lucky to get away from the pressure. Closing in on him was big 66 James Jackson. There you see Linehan's numbers. 7 out of 8. The first incompletion by Linehan. 142 yards through the air and 2 touchdowns. Also had a touchdown rushing.
He's had a phenomenal game so far. That time was getting pressure, difficult to get that pass off, and there was contact out in the flat between Evans and Gilligan, but the ball had already passed, so no flag.
2nd down and 10. The pitch to Riggs. Blockers in front. Riggs turns the corner. He could be gone. 1 man to beat, and he's bumped out of bounds at the 23-yard line. A saving tackle by Marcellus Sumlin with a 26-yard gain for Riggs.
He is big, as I mentioned, the 2 scant backs along with Joris Eiler, the big guys, what I was trying to say earlier. But here's Riggs. A simple toss outside. It becomes a foot race. Sumlin makes the touchdown saving tackle. You don't get much more basic than this, but Hargett, the lead back, gets a block outside. Receivers downfield blocking. You love to see that as an offensive coach. And Riggs nearly breaks it all the way, but Middletown again striking quickly, knocking on the door.
Riggs now over 60 yards rushing. Kline on the move. Linehan with the fake. He rolls out, dumps it off, incomplete. Only the 2nd incompletion. Hargett just couldn't hang on to it, but he had a lot of green grass in front of him.
Well, you saw the frustration. He pounded the turf after he dropped the football. That is the 2nd incompletion by Linehan, but you can't put this one on him as Jimmy just dropped the football. It's guesswork by the defense. Will he keep it? Will he throw it? Little pump fake there. Freezes the linebacker just enough to leave Hargett wide open, but Jimmy can't handle the football. One of the rare mistakes he has made. One of the rare mistakes the Middletown offense has made here in the 1st half.
Well, that probably would have been a touchdown if he would have hung on. 2nd and 10 from the 23. Linehan with the fake again. He's had plenty of time all night to throw the ball. Surveys the field, completes it to Gilligan inside the 10. He's down at the A to pick up a 15 more for Gilligan. His 3rd catch for 63 yards now.
Well, the big guy's been left alone. You focus on guys like Kline and McCarrick, and you forget about the tight end. And Gilligan's had a big 1st half. Again, a bootleg. Linehan able to buy himself time with his mobility. Going right with him on the down and out pattern was Gilligan to pick up another 1st down. 1st and goal for the Knights.
They start at the 8-yard line. Gilligan and Kline both to the right side. Linehan has 2 touchdown passes and 1 running. He fakes it. Linehan trying to get to the corner. Touchdown, Middletown. Linehan with an 8-yard run as he beat the defender to the spot, to the pylon. His 2nd touchdown rushing in the game, and he's got 2 throwing. What a night for Kevin Linehan.
Kevin's having a career night for himself, on the ground, through the air. What an athlete. He is the leader of his football team. And that time it did become a foot race, Jeff, to that pylon, and for the second time, this time on the opposite side. He beats the defenders there, and pay dirt for the 4th time for Middletown.
Smith with the extra point. No good. So it's 27-14 Middletown with 2:15 left in the half. So Smith now 3 of 4 on extra points, but Linehan 2 carries, 44 yards. Both runs for touchdowns of 36 and 8 yards. He now has 10 touchdowns rushing on the season. So the Knights with 20 unanswered points. They were down 14-7, now lead by 13.
Pretty good odds for the running quarterback. 2 touches and 2 touchdowns. Here it is again. A little bit of a play fake to the fullback, and it's a play designed for him. Nothing inside. He sees something outside and becomes the foot race. And he gets to the pylon just before Jarell Hasan. And Linehan scores the touchdown. Here it is again. He freezes the DBs, I think, for a second right there as he paused. And then cuts it back outside, puts on the afterburners, and gets into the end zone for the 2nd time tonight. The 9th time this season. Middletown with a 2-touchdown lead, the biggest lead of the ballgame.
The Knights have already won 10 straight games. That was their longest drive. Hey, they took 10 plays and 2 minutes and 51 seconds off the clock to go 81 yards. So the Hubs have the ball just outside the 30. Return there by number 39, Vernon Valentine. Has a touchdown run back on an interception. Had 2 interceptions in the regular season. One of them he ran back for a 25-yard score. So Valentine returns it to the 31. That's where the Hubs will start their next possession. Now the time of possession getting a little bit more even. North Hagerstown 13.5 minutes and Middletown 8 minutes. But there's quite a disparity before that last possession by the Knights. Kelso from the shotgun. Fires right side, completes the pass, and breaking away is Bayman after he makes his 3rd catch. Dances down the sidelines. A 1st down gain. See where they spot it. It was enough for the 1st. The 45-yard line, 14 yards on this pass play.
Bayman steps out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Kelso gets enough time. And Bayman makes a nice catch. A little bit of traffic out there, and Smith just misses him in man coverage. And a 1st down for the Hubs.
3 catches, 43 yards for Bayman. Kelso again lines up and throws it. That's Bayman again. And time for about 7 more. Down to the 48-yard line of Middletown. Clock moving, 1:45 left in the half. So plenty of time for North to try to get another score on the board. Bayman with 4 catches now. Again from the shotgun. Pressure by the Knights. Kelso fires down the field. Bayman drops this one at the 30. He had it in his hands and then dropped it. That would have been another 1st down. Just the 3rd incompletion by Kelso.
And Rob Cochran had a part in this, why the ball was dropped. A great job to make the contact and separate the football from Bayman's. Rob Cochran, excellent timing there to break up that pass. And Bayman obviously could have had it. He had it in his hands, but excellent defense there from Cochran.
So 3rd down coming up. 3rd down and a short 3. Comes 5 of 7 on 3rd down conversion. Kelso dials it up again, completes it down the middle. This is Nelson. Inside the 25-yard line goes Nelson, a gain of 22. 3rd catch for him.
He was wide open, Jeff. A post pattern across the middle. Pressure coming from Crown. He unloads it just in time. A little bit of traffic there, and Nelson makes the catch.
3 catches, 69 yards.
Actually, Nichols with, excuse me, Jeff. Nichols with the pressure. Great play across the middle.
Kelso's pass batted away by Gilligan. He's been the defensive monster on this Knights team this year. 24 tackles for a loss, 17.5 sacks. last week he had a block punt and 4.5 sacks against Winters Mill in that 30-0 win.
Yeah, 8 sacks by the team last week, and Ryan Gilligan's defensive numbers are ridiculous the way he gets to the quarterback. He's been a big play receiver on the offensive side, but that time the big guy broke it up at the line of scrimmage. He stands about 6'3".
2nd down and 10. Pressure coming again. Gilligan couldn't get him that time. Kelso fires, batted away, and a penalty marker goes down. Pass broken up by Joe McDonald. And I don't know what the flag is.
Well, it might be unnecessary roughness after the ball was through. There was contact, and although this is a little questionable, I hope we get a chance to see it again, because it's going to be a personal foul for the unnecessary roughness against the defense.
Well, that hurts because you had the incompletion. It would have been 3rd and 10.
Sure.
And extracurricular.
There's the pass. It's broken up right there. Then the hit comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ball was well passed. And
Linehan, the quarterback.
yeah, Kevin just could have held off there. Sometimes the ball and the player both get there at the same time, and you make a play on the receiver. But that was a good second or so after the play, and a little bit of helmet to helmet as well, which will add fuel to the fire. So good call by the official, and a huge break here for North Hagerstown as they wind up inside the 15-yard line.
Ball at the 12-yard line, 1st and 10.
That's emotion. It's a big, big game, but that time a little bit too much emotion.
3 receivers to the right, the blitz. Somehow Kelso gets away from it. And Kelso dropped at the 9-yard line. Kline made the tackle after a gain of 3 by Kelso, the quarterback. Timeout called by North Hagerstown. They're 2nd. They have 1 remaining.
Kelso running for his life. Nobody open downfield. Trying to pick up something, but Brandon Kline, eyes for the football, eyes for the quarterback. Wrestles him down and kept him in bounds, which was smart. It forces the Hubs to call timeout here. Not much time, 44 seconds, but with the field position at the 10-yard line, 44 seconds and 1 timeout is plenty of time from that perspective. But Kline keeping him in bounds did force the Hubs to burn their 2nd timeout.
Gain of 2 yards on that last play for the quarterback, Kelso, and I don't know how he got away. The blitz was coming on both sides from the Knights.
Well, Kelso's shown he can be pretty fleet of foot as well, able to scramble and get himself some more time when he's faced some pressure. That time able to just keep the football as Lauren Ridenauer.
2nd-year coach, 19-4 overall, 10-1 this year. Had a great season last year at 9-3. They were 5-1 in the MVAL. Middletown's just had a great tradition all time. The Middletown football team, 265 wins, only 79 losses.
2nd round of the playoffs a year ago.
2nd and 8. Blitz again. He fires down the middle, incomplete. Intended for Alec Nelson. He's already caught 4 balls, but the Knights there to break it up. That was Joe McDonald again, or McConnell rather. McDonald, sorry.
McDonald was there, Linehan was there. It was a dangerous pass in traffic as Kelso tried to force it in there a little bit. If you want to throw it in there, you have to zip it in a little bit more with more velocity, and he's fortunate that pass was not intercepted.
30 down conversion, 6 of 8.
75%.
Incomplete, too high as Kelso, again intended for Nelson. So it'll bring up 4th down with 35 seconds left in the half. And they have not kicked a field goal all year. They've kicked 3 field goals. No field goals. So this could be their first field goal of the year. Chris Reid, 38 extra points on the season. And now a timeout called by Middletown to make them think about it. 4th and 8. They could get a 1st down at the 1-yard line.
I just thought that was unnecessary.
But they'll make the Hubs think about it.
I really did.
27-14 is the score. So even if they would convert a field goal here, it would still be a 2-possession game. Middletown will be up by 2 scores.
Good point, and not seeing the Hubs as regularly as we've seen Middletown and the Frederick County schools. We don't know much about their kicking game other than what you said there, Jeff. They have not made a field goal all year, although Chris Reid has shown he can kick the extra point. And he's shown it. I think he has the leg for this. This will be about a 27 to 28-yard attempt.
Yeah, his range is about 30 yards.
Yeah,
he was
so
kicking 30-yarders consistently in pregame warm-ups.
It's in his range. You're facing a defense that's starting to tighten up. You're facing 4th and 8. Try and get 3 points out of this and make it a 2-score game where you know 2 touchdowns will give you the lead, as opposed to fighting with it with the extra point.
Well, a little momentum builder maybe as well, because penalty marker down for the play's inception. Offsides against the Knights. Okay, does this change the decision? Now it's going to be 4th down and a little bit closer. And remember, they can get a first down around the 1-yard line.
And they have time. They have a timeout. You'll stop the clock if you get the first down. Now all of a sudden you're down inside the 10-yard line to the 5. So Coach Cunningham has a decision to make, and I like the choice to go for it here, although Coach is going to disagree with me and keep Reid out there for the field goal attempt.
Yeah, I think he's maybe just thinking, okay, we haven't scored the last couple of possessions. We don't want Middletown to run away with this. Let's get something out of this. And Reid's kick is good. So a 22-yard field goal by Chris Reid, and as far as we know, the first field goal made by the Hubs this year, coming in the playoffs. So 29 seconds remaining on the clock, 27-17. But if you're Middletown, it's kind of like, well, they still have to get 2 more scores to take the lead from us or tie it with a field goal and a touchdown.
And despite our penalty on 4th down, if you're thinking like Middletown, you only give up 3 points here as opposed to a touchdown. And it's tempting on 4th and 3 to try and go for this, and I'm not sure, but obviously Reid has the leg, and Coach Cunningham knows this as he nails that one through to pull his team within 10. But you make a good point too, Jeff, about the momentum. A team that you're playing, Middletown, has shut you down 3 or 4 times. You at least get 3 points out of it. If you don't come up with a first down there and you turn the ball over on downs going into the half, that could be very, very devastating, where you're facing a big uphill battle come 3rd quarter. So they got something out of it. It gives their offense some confidence with halftime approaching.
527 total yards of offense for these 2 teams in this game in the first half. This is Riggs on the return, trying to twist away, and he's taken down. So nice play by Riggs on the return. Jamaril Claiborne with the tackle on special teams. 23 seconds remaining. And there you see the scoring drive. 10 plays, 65 yards, a minute 40. So these teams getting a lot of plays in quickly.
They are. We've seen some no huddle. We've seen a lot of quick rollouts by Linehan, bootlegs, a lot of slant passes, a lot of out passes. Plays that have taken little time to develop, but have been very effective.
So 1st and 10 at the 38 for Middletown. Will they go for more? With 23 seconds left. Smith in motion. And this is Riggs hammering his way forward. Out across the 45, a gain of about 8 more. So Riggs now over 70 yards rushing in the first half. Last week in that Middletown win over Winters Mill, the defense was just so great. 8 sacks, 3 interceptions, a fumble recovery, 2 block punts. They only gave up 1 first down in the second half.
Had a penalty here, Jeff, on North Hagerstown for illegal participation. Too many players on the field. You saw Mr. Culler give us the signal. And they will talk it over with the Middletown offensive huddle.
Riggs 71 yards on 9 carries to lead the way for Middletown.
I thought this was a 15-yard penalty, Jeff. I wanted to wait to make sure, and it is. It's 5 yards for illegal substitution, 15 yards for illegal participation. It's a big, big penalty on the high school level. Middletown now in the Hubs territory. 17 seconds for these guys. That's enough time the way they're playing offense tonight.
Well, they probably need about 20 more yards to get into Paul Smith's range, and that's not going to do it. That'll be a penalty, illegal procedure against Middletown. Last week, Smith made a 34-yard field goal against Winters Mill, and he's made 3 field goals on the year, but they would probably have to get the ball down to around the 20-yard line. You see Riggs, the leading runner in the game, over 70 yards already this half. Riggs on the season, Came in with 645 yards, so he's over 700 yards rushing for the season. Linehan, big rush. Linehan will be whistled down. He still didn't go down, but Redden got the sack. Kevin Redden's third sack, and that'll end the first half. 27-17, the Knights in the lead over North Hagerstown in the 2A West final. We'll be back with halftime stats and more after this. Middletown High School getting set for third quarter action. Middletown won the toss at the beginning of the game and elected to kick off. So the Hubs will kick off to start the second half. They got a field goal just before the end of the first half to get back into the game a little bit better. A 10-point deficit for the Hubs. And this is Riggs. Riggs has a lot of space in front of him. Riggs across midfield. And Riggs down inside the 25 of North High. Great start for the Knights in the second half. Diez Johnson got the Hubs on the board first with a 2-yard run. These two teams were just back and forth in the beginning. Then McCarrick on the receiving end of that pass from Kevin Linehan from 15 yards out to tie it. This is Johnson again to make it 14-7. Then Linehan with the play fake. Going up top. Watch this play by Brandon Kline, getting away from the defender. Racing to pay dirt. Then Linehan on the keeper. Makes it to the pylon before the defender. Middletown in the lead. 27-14, and then this field goal from 22 yards out, 27-17. We're now in the third quarter, 2nd down and 12 coming up for the Knights. They have the ball at the 27-yard line of North Hagerstown. Justin Riggs with the long kickoff return to start things off for Middletown in the second half. And Brian, at the beginning of this game, these two teams just back and forth on the first 4 possessions, and then that Middletown defense was the difference in the latter part of the second half, shutting down the North High D.
They settled in a little bit, Jeff. The front 7 started to get to Kelso a little bit better, and the secondary played much better.
Linehan rolling out. Linehan being chased and dropped for a loss. Dion Everett with a sack. And here are the stats. See 129 yards rushing for the Knights. Hubs favored in the passing, 197 to 157, but total, Middletown with 46 more yards, 1 more first down. Time of possession, 15.5 minutes for North and 8.5 for Middletown, but doesn't matter how much time you have the football, it's how many points you score, and Middletown was very efficient getting their points. Just 17 plays in the first half. 3rd down and 16. Linehan rushed again by Dion Everett. And Linehan will sling it down the field. Intercepted. So the Hubs get the turnover. It's Marcellus Sumlin with a pick, his 3rd of the year, preventing a scoring opportunity for the Knights.
2 flags are down, Jeff. I think Linehan was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the football, so I'm sure the Hubs will take the play and get the football here. Illegal forward pass is the call, and North Hagerstown's going to have possession. Middletown came out with a different formation this time. They sent Hargett out in motion, 4 wide receivers and no running backs at the snap, and just good coverage downfield, and Linehan was running for his life and wound up throwing the ball illegally beyond the line of scrimmage and throws the interception.
North dominated the first quarter with 165 yards. And a lot of time of possession. Second quarter, though, it was all Middletown. Over 200 yards. On the time of possession, a little bit more even in the second quarter.
Well, over 200 yards of offense by Middletown in the second quarter. That pretty much tells the tale of how the momentum swung at the time. But with the Reid field goal, as we mentioned, Coach Cunningham had a decision to make on 4th and 3. He elected to kick the field goal, which was a good call, of course, with the successful field goal. And now they get the turnover here to start the third quarter.
Sumlin down near the goal line. Gilligan stopped him back there for that tackle for the loss. That's 25 tackles for a loss by Gilligan. That one very close to being a safety.
Well, I'm a fan of north-south running deep in your own territory, Jeff, not east-west running, and this is why. I know Sumlin has good speed, can get outside, but you don't want to play around down near the goal line, and the Hubs very fortunate they didn't give up 2 points.
Second down and 14. And this time they bottle him up and do get the safety.
How about that? That is an example of your defense bailing out your offense. You cough up the football with an interception, and your defense pins them back, and the Hubs go backwards about 7-8 yards. They wind up giving up 2 on the safety, and that's very big. It's now a 12-point ball game. But what a job by the defense, which has been so good throughout the season. They started out slow tonight, giving up 2 quick touchdowns, and since then they've played very well. And that's a backbreaker if you're the Hubs. You come up with an interception, you pull within 10, but now you're down by 12 all of a sudden, and Coach Ridenauer has to be very pleased to see this. It was a snapped or a bobbled snap there, Kelso, and it just takes a great bounce for Johnson briefly. The Hubs are fortunate they didn't give up a touchdown there with that ball on the ground, but it appeared Kelso was able to rake it back into himself, but he was in the end zone. So a safety. Now a free kick by the Hubs from the 20-yard line. Hopefully Kelso's okay. He got up very slowly, and we'll see if he's able to come back on their next possession. Of course, in that pile, that's not a fun place to be. So all kind of bodies flying around with that football on the ground.
Yeah, so the Hubs, as you said, fortunate to only get out of there with 2 points, because Middletown could have easily covered that for a touchdown. Then it would have been a whole different ball game, but now it's still within 2 touchdowns for the Hubs. 29-17 Middletown as the Knights get back 2 of the 3 points they gave up on that field goal to close out the half. And now Riggs out to midfield with another good return, this time on a punt. So the Knights, with 9:04 left in the third, trying to keep control of this game. They were down 14-7. Since then have outscored the Hubs 22-10.
It's been a different ball game since late in the first quarter. The teams traded touchdowns early. Middletown put together a great second quarter. And the Reid field goal kind of slowed that down a little bit. They get the interception, but the Hubs cannot cash in.
Linehan 2 touchdowns passing, 2 rushing. Pitches to Riggs. Oh, and Riggs hit hard and knocked down by Tommy Evans, the senior. 6 feet tall, 180-pounder. Evans with the knockdown, but not till Riggs gets 9 yards on the play.
Nice thump here by Evans, but you said it, Jeff. Riggs gets good yardage here. A toss outside. Looks like Linehan gave him a block after the toss. Great job by the quarterback, and good speed around that outside.
Riggs 11 carries, 72 yards. Linehan around the right side. Dives down to the 36. A gain of about 6 for Linehan, who now has 4 carries in the game, making 5 carries for about 40 yards.
And a heads-up play by Justin Riggs, the tailback. Justin lost his balance and was starting to move forward. He was able to move laterally just before the snap, which is okay to do. If he had been moving forward at the snap, it would have been a 5-yard penalty for illegal motion. So he had the wherewithal to move laterally at the snap. No penalty. And Middletown picks up the first down.
Clock rolling down to 8:20 left in the quarter. This is Riggs. Bursts forward and then hammered again. It's the same guy, Tommy Evans, there to make the stop. So Evans coming alive here in the second half.
I think Tommy's playing a little angry right now, which is good. He's taking out the emotions on the ball carriers. That was a good looking tackle. Led with the shoulder and just pushed the running back, Riggs, back as best he could right through the play. That was a tough 3 yards for Riggs.
Second down and 7 from the 34. The fake to Riggs. Linehan trying to get outside. And again, Tommy Evans with the stop. And a loss of about 3 yards. So it'll be third down and close to 10. So Tommy Evans, where'd he come from?
Well, Tommy's played a good second half here, a very early second half. 3 tackles in a row. Kind of a couple of stops in the first half, but playing with a lot of passion here in the third quarter. That time an option play pretty much for Linehan. That whole outside, or the weak side I should say, was shut down.
Tommy Evans came into the game with 114 tackles. And Linehan bounces away somehow, but he's going backwards. Fumble! And Linehan may have had it, but then the Hubs jumped on it.
Hubs have the football.
So North High with a recovery in Middletown territory. The 48-yard line. Wow, what a turn of events. That one went backwards about 15, 20 yards.
That's much better than a punt return, that's for sure. Kevin was trying to make something happen here, and this is when you often see a fumble happen. He's nearly wrapped up there, and he tries to make a play, and jarring the football loose was 66, James Jackson. When you see that second or third effort by a quarterback or a running back, that's often when you see fumbles, and Middletown coughs up the football.
So new life for North High. Kelso out of the shotgun, he's back in there. And this one incomplete to Alec Nelson. Nelson 3 catches, 69 yards in the first half. So what a turn of events. Middletown had the ball in North territory looking to get another score, and then the fumble, and North High has it Middletown territory at the 48-yard line, and they have a chance to get another score and get right back in this one. They trail by 12. 6:53 left, third quarter. Kelso out of the shotgun one more time. Down the middle, completes the pass. Jarell Hasan, it's a foot race. 10, 5, touchdown, North High. Hasan, a 48-yard reception and run on the pass from Kelso.
After the safety, or after the interception earlier, the Middletown defense bailed out the offense by getting the safety. This time they cannot, following the fumble near midfield. Quickly, the Hubs come back and strike. Jarell Hasan with the touchdown, his 14th of the season. He's had a great year. And all of a sudden it comes down to a 1-score game now in the third quarter. North Hagerstown very much back in this football game.
So Hasan last week, 3 catches, 92 yards and a TD. This week, 3 catches, 92 yards and a TD. Reid with the extra point to make it 29-24 with 6:43 left. A marker is down. Hasan now 30 catches on the year for 703 yards and 14 touchdowns, and the penalty goes against Middletown. So the point will count, and the infraction will be assessed on the kickoff.
It's a 5-yard penalty for running into the kicker as opposed to roughing the kicker. So they'll kick off from the 40 instead of the 35-yard line coming up here. North Hagerstown not going away quietly, and you see guys playing intense like Tommy Evans, the 3 tackles he made. You don't think that kind of carries over to other guys out there and inspires the rest of the gang to try and get something going here? Here it is, the touchdown again. They like this option, or this shotgun look. Kelso has all kinds of time, and Hasan's wide open across the middle. The defender falls down, and it becomes a foot race. And number 5, Mike McMillan's out there blocking just in case. And Hasan beats everybody down the far sideline for the touchdown. And the PAT makes it a 5-point game. This thing far, far from over.
Hey, well, credit. There you see the scoring play. Scoring summary, 2 plays, 48 yards, 14 seconds. But credit Tommy Evans for coming up with some big defensive plays to stop Middletown, to help get his team the ball back. Evans last week, 2 fumble recoveries. Got his 2nd sack of the year on that last possession by Middletown.
I correct myself, Jeff. That was a 15-yard penalty, so North Hagerstown will kick off from the 45-yard line of Middletown.
Wow. And Riggs has had some good returns lately, so maybe a good thing for North to kick this close. Try and get a touchback. They boom it into the end zone. And Eiler won't return it. So the ball will go at the 20. So the penalty basically causes a touchback. Riggs had a great kickoff return to start the second half. So the penalty, a big break for the Hubs after they score a touchdown to close the gap to 5.
Yeah, you might think you want to pin them back with a squib kick and try and get the return team off balance and then make a play, but the way they've been running the ball back tonight and the way they have throughout the season, some of the return guys have been very good. Riggs 29 yards per kick return this season, just nailed it into the end zone and forced them to start from the 20.
First down play. And Caden Robinson wraps up Hargett. No gain on the play. Caden Robinson came in with 142 tackles, #1 on the team, 4 sacks and an interception. Last week, 11 tackles against FSK.
He is a horse, isn't he? 6'3", 230, plus 3 fumble recoveries on the season for good measure. He's a big guy, kind of a quiet first half. Middletown paying a lot of attention to him, but that time making some noise and no gain.
Second down and 10 from the 20. The toss to Riggs. He slips down, and he'll be down right there at about the 16, so a loss of about 4 for Justin Riggs, who's been the workhorse in this game. That was his 13th carry, and he's now under 70 yards again with that 4-yard loss.
Just lost his footing. The grass, the mud there in between the hash marks, very slick. Middletown likes to play power football, but Riggs trying to cut back. His knee is down, and of course in high school, much like college, or just like college, you don't have to be down by contact. So a loss of 4.
3rd and 14 for Middletown. Linehan with time. Nobody open. Looking to dump it off. And now Linehan will dump it off and complete the pass to Hargett. And Hargett is hammered. What a hit. I think it was Sumlin who came up and made the stop.
Yes,
that'll be short of a first down.
Hits are contagious. It all started earlier in the half with Tom Evans. Now Marcellus, Sumlin. I believe they're trying to set up a screen here. Linehan has all kinds of time. Things are bottled up in the middle. And right there, you know, Linehan's got to start running for his life or get rid of the football. He's able to buy himself some time, which he's done throughout the night. Able to get it out in the flat to Hargett. And watch the play here by Sumlin, number 4. Beautiful shoulder-led tackle, textbook. And this Hubs defense playing inspired football, following the turnover earlier, then a 2-play scoring drive to get back within 4 or 5 points. Now an excellent hit there by Sumlin.
And a penalty. Brian will move it back to the 10-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 20 from just outside the 10. Hubs trying to shut down the night offense right here and force a 4th down.
Here's the spear.
And McCarrick throws it down the field, completed. Sumlin with a tackle, but Kline makes the catch and gets the first down out at the 45-yard line. A gain of 34.
That's a fun play, Jeff. I love this play. Some colleges use. I know McDaniel College in Westminster likes to run this play, and this is the second time we've seen Middletown on Cable 10's Game of the Week work it to perfection. 2 passes. It's a legal play because even though it's overhanded thrown, it's thrown behind on that first pass. And then the forward pass here to Kline that worked for a touchdown against Frederick in midseason. Works for over 30 yards here, and a big 3rd down converge.
McCarrick with the big pass, 34 yards. And on first down, the Knights get 4 yards out to midfield. And there's Tommy Evans again, number 79, in on the play.
That can really frustrate a defense, though. You're pushing them back. They commit a penalty. Things are going your way. It's a great time to pull out the trick play. Great play call by Coach Ridenauer and his staff.
This is Linehan on the keeper. And Linehan gets past the stick for a first down. Gain of about 6 for Kevin Linehan. His 8th rush for about 33 yards, but he's been sacked a few times, so that's cut down on his rushing yards. But it's 2 touchdowns rushing and 2 throwing.
Simple option play designed for Kevin all the way. Rolling out to his left. Not really an option. Well, he could have faked it. He did fake the handoff.
He's even
initially,
directing his blockers.
Yeah, he's just waiting, being patient, waiting for Riggs to get out there and block for him. Great rollout, great first down.
Linehan dumps it off to Gilligan, and he's down at the 42. So a gain of 3 yards on the play. So Gilligan comes up with his 4th catch to lead the Knights. 66 yards total for Gilligan.
It's not a wing T offense, of course. It's more of an eye look, a pro set with an option. The wing T often utilizes the tight end in passing situations, and that's what Gilligan and the offense has reminded me of a little bit tonight. Nothing really flashy down the far side or near sides of the field, with the exception of the spear play we just saw. But Gilligan's had a real nice night.
Riggs on the carry. And maybe a loss of a yard on that play as Riggs bounces up quickly. Linehan 10 of 13 through the air, 1 interception. We see Middletown on 3rd down conversions. They haven't had many 3rd downs early in the game. They didn't have a lot of 3rd downs. They were getting touchdowns.
They were scoring so fast. They were scoring on 1st or 2nd downs, and
now they've had 4 conversions and made 2 of them.
Well, the last one was huge on 3rd and long, that spear play.
Another 3rd down, 3rd and 7 from the 42. Linehan retreats, fakes, now fires down the field looking for Smith, and it's broken up by Mike McMillan. No flags, it'll be 4th down.
Excellent defense. The blitz was coming and Middletown picked it up. It became man coverage across the middle, and Mike McMillan broke it up just as the football got there, not allowing Smith to catch it. Post pattern by Smith across the middle. Plenty of time for Linehan as they pick up the blitz, and good defense as McMillan was trailing out there but never got turned around. Made a great play on the football.
Middletown in punt formation. McCarrick with the kick, and not a very good one. Angled out of bounds at the 27-yard line. So about a 15-yard punt, no return. Hubs will have it in good field position, and they trail by only 5. So North trying to go ahead on this possession. They scored the last time they had it. Hasan with that great catch and run, 48 yards.
Well, despite the safety, they are really playing with a lot of life. It all started with the defense. It really did. The plays we saw from Robinson and Evans.
Hand off to Diez Johnson. He's out to the 30. Gain of about 3 yards for Diez Johnson. 9 carries, 30 yards. He had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter for North. He's been kind of quiet since. Here's Diez.
He's been their go-to guy this season. 1,066 yards entering tonight's game. 1,033.
This is Donaldson, who's had, or no, Johnson again. Out to the 38, a gain of about 8, and that should be enough for a first down for the Hubs.
This has been Hubs football throughout the season. They threw the ball so much more than we thought they would, than Middletown thought they would when this game began. It was very effective as he scored 2 touchdowns in their first 2 possessions. Now they're back to the no huddle, which was also effective in that first half, but Johnson, of course, a big part of it here.
Kelso throws low and incomplete. Intended for Richie Bayman. Bayman had caught 3 passes for 37 before that one. That one falls incomplete. So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 38. Well, on the game, North Hagerstown 22 carries, only 50 yards. So that's why they've had to throw the ball a lot more, because that Middletown defense is tough to run against. They only give up 66 yards a game. Heavy pressure. Kelso launches it down the field and intercepted. He was inbounds. And the Knights have the football. Rob Cochran with his 2nd interception of the year. And that was huge, because North had the momentum and could have taken the lead on this possession.
Pressure coming on the quarterback Kelso. Among the guys coming was Ryan Morgan. That's a recipe for a turnover. He spent a lot of time looking downfield, which allowed the defense to settle in underneath the football. Ball's a little underthrown, thrown in the coverage, and Rob Cochran gets the pick. Of course, hindsight's 20/20. Might have been better advised to throw that ball away, but he tried to make a play downfield.
Riggs from the 43 sifts his way through the D for 3 yards out to the 46. Riggs now 76 yards running in the game to lead all running backs. So Middletown working on the clock now, trying to run out the third quarter and have a 5-point lead at least with the final 12 minutes coming up. 62 seconds left in the third.
What a great game. It's been a great high school game here in the playoffs. We've had several momentum shifts back and forth in that first quarter.
Second down and 7 play. The fake. Linehan fires across the middle, too high, incomplete, intended for Gilligan. Linehan now 10 of 15 with an interception. Kelso on the other side, 14 of 24 and 1 interception. So a lot of passing in this game.
More than we thought. Both these teams, as we said, average about 10 to 12 passes a game. Middletown, very few passes in last week's win over Winters Mill. Of course, they got ahead and kept the ball on the ground, and it was a good recipe for a 30-0 victory. That time Gilligan just the pass was overthrown. No chance for Gilligan. Middletown faces third down.
Third down and 7 from the 46. Kline in motion. Linehan 5-step drop. Fires and completes to McCarrick down at the 42-yard line. McCarrick a gain of 12. That's his third catch now for 34 yards, and he has 1 touchdown.
And Pat a touchdown in the first quarter on a little timing route this time. A little bit of a button hook. Turned around, got to the chain, knew where he had to get to. And Linehan delivers it for a first down.
First down at the 42 for the Knights. This is Hargett. And Hargett down to the 26-yard line. A gain of 16 more for Middletown. And a penalty flag is down. Maybe some extra yardage coming up for Middletown.
Possibly a face mask as the flags came in late around the ball carrier. Great play fake, though. There it is, the face mask on the defense. The way that flag was thrown, at the time it was thrown, it appeared it would be a face mask, and it is. Here it is again, a great fake by Linehan as if he was running outside. He's able to get the football to the fullback, Hargett. Look at the play.
Just a 5-yard variety, though.
Yeah, he let go. A little bit of a tug there briefly by Hasan, but he let go, so just 5 yards are tacked on instead of 15.
That's the end of the third quarter. Middletown trying to hang on. They lead North High 29-24 after 3.
With great privilege comes great responsibility.
And then things slowed down a little bit, but 29-24 after 3, just 12 minutes to play. Two quarterbacks have thrown the ball between them 40 times. And an interesting game, but very exciting. Riggs. First and 10 from the 21. He's been the workhorse. That was his 15th carry. He's down to 17.
A lot of those carries coming here in the second half. Riggs has been busy. Ball control offense by Middletown. It was a pretty quick quarter, despite all the throws. Game of shifting momentum, as we said. A couple of key turnovers. One a fumble, one an interception. We've had a safety.
Second and 5 from the 16. Linehan fires left side, incomplete. Trying to get it to McCarrick. He has 3 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown early. So it'll be third down and 5 for Middletown.
Well-designed play, just a little underthrown. Linehan again rolling out, buying himself time. McCarrick on an out pattern. Appeared to be open, but the ball was short-hopped. Middletown has been successful on some third down conversions here in the second half. They face a third down here.
Middletown 3 of 6 on third down conversions in the game. This may be their biggest so far. They hand it off to Riggs. Riggs with the first down. Riggs still fighting for yardage. He's down inside the 5. A gain of 11 yards for Riggs. He's up to 92 for the game, and a 1st and goal for the Knights. Here's how the scoring is going. The Hubs had a 14-7 lead after 1, but it was that second quarter where the Knights totally dominated, over 200 yards of offense and 20 points. Then in the third, things slowed down a little bit, but the Hubs got a few points back in the deficit.
How about the play call? 3rd down. Excuse me, Jeff. They go for a run instead of a pass. Riggs gets the 1st down.
Hargett, touchdown, Knights. Middletown back up 35-24, an 11-point advantage. Hargett's first touchdown of the game. And on the year, his 5th rushing TD.
Power football. In between the tackles, down in the trenches. The Knights, they're excited once again. The MHS flags, they've been pretty busy tonight. Those guys have gotten a workout as Middletown finds the end zone for the 5th time. Power football in between the tackles. Now they have an 11-point lead, so they'll go for 2.
Linehan under center. Fakes the handoff, rolls out, has plenty of time, dumps it off, and too short. They won't get the 2. So it's an 11-point game, 35-24 with 10:38 remaining in the contest.
Riggs sets up the touchdown with his run on 3rd down. Another good play fake as if he was going outside. I'm talking about Kevin Linehan. He gives it to Riggs to get the 1st down. Then a play later, Hargett in between the tackles, able to score the 6.
So the Knights with their 5th touchdown of the game. Linehan with 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, and Hargett gets on the board with a running touchdown.
Jimmy Hargett, number 28, he's the tailback. Just a basic in between the tackles play. Tony Boyer, one of the sophomores who's been added to the team, he was number 45, providing the block in the up position. Scoring drive just under 3 minutes. Middletown evening things out a bit in that category tonight as far as time and possession. More importantly, an 11-point lead.
So the Knights will kick off. Paul Smith is number 2. The short kick. Fielded at the 23. And not much on the return. And Mike McMillan. Maybe out to the 25. A 2-yard return. Here you see the total yards. 362 for Middletown, 295 for the Hubs. And time of possession, Middletown just over 20 minutes, 17-20 for North. And that's amazing because early in the game it was like 14 minutes for North or something and 5 for Middletown. Middletown is totally dominated from late in the first quarter, but the score still fairly close at 35-24. North with an explosive offense. Diaz Johnson not so explosive on that play, maybe a loss of 1 before he's taken down by Adam Crown, who came into the game with 58 tackles and 4.5 sacks, one of the Crown brothers.
The younger Crown, he's the junior. Andrew's the senior. They both have had great seasons and able to stop him for a loss of 1 yard.
Andrew, they call him the Ogre. That's what his teammates call him. He started the Mohawk haircuts for his team back when they played Urbana. As Logan Kelso is taken down, and that's probably going to be a face mask. There you see number 61, Andrew Crown, face mask against Middletown. So they got the Mohawk haircuts, and he said, well, we're not going to get rid of these Mohawks until we lose again. Well, they've won 10 straight games, so
whatever works. People love superstition, athletes, coaches. If you get the personal foul variety here, it'll be a 15-yard face masking penalty. Well, I was coming up the bleachers and I heard some of the parents talking, and one lady said, I'm wearing the same underwear and everything else I had on last week. So that's superstition for you.
Wow.
Here it is once again. That's a dangerous play. When you grab the face mask, that's the personal foul. They tackle on 15 more yards. So that's why it's called it's a break for North Hagerstown.
First down at the 40. Kelso dives forward for 2 after being stopped in the backfield. Gilligan had a hold of him, but somehow he struggled to get free and makes something out of nothing. Into the 41 is where they spot it, so it'll be second down and 9 in that spot. There you see Kelso has had a good game, 14 of 24, but he completed, I believe, his first 10. It's only 4 of his last 14. 245 yards through the air. Had that big pass to Hasan in the second half, a 48-yard touchdown play. Kelso with a lot of pressure, throws it up. Incomplete. That was a dangerous pass. And the receiver, Bayman, looking for interference, but no call. Good defense by the Knights.
North Hagerstown has run their no huddle with success tonight, both in the first quarter and early in the second half, and they've gotten away from that. And I'm a little surprised because of the success, but maybe guys getting worn down a bit. They're going back to the huddle. Now they face third down and long. Still plenty of time on the clock. It's just under 9 minutes to play.
Third down and 9. Kelso out of the shotgun, low snap. He dropped it, picked it back up, and then he's dumped at the 30-yard line. And there you see Crown again on the play.
Crown and Morgan, Ryan Morgan, number 78, 6'3", 215. It all starts with the snap. You can't blame Kelso for this. He almost falls down with that low snap, and by the time he's able to regain his balance, here comes Morgan and company, another near face mask, but he let go. And a sack. And North Hagerstown going the wrong way, now facing fourth down about 19 or 29. Force the punt.
So Ryan Morgan and Adam Crown combined for that sack. It's 4th and 20 from the 31-yard line. And a timeout on the field with 8:15 remaining. And Middletown with a touchdown on that last possession. Give them an 11-point advantage. There you see the timeout situation. North burns it first. They have 2 left. And Middletown with all 3 timeouts. The winner will go to the Final 4 in 2A. This is the regional championship.
They will reseed teams after tonight's ball games, after this weekend's ball games, Jeff. Hereford's playing Edmondson. Southern Anne Arundel's playing Wycomico, and Patuxent's playing McDonough. Middletown could really play any of the winners of those 3 games. It's a toss-up. It all depends on regular season points as you're reseeded based on your average that you picked up during the year. Middletown could possibly play at home, I'm told, if either Edmondson or McDonough were to lose this weekend. But that's looking way ahead at this time. But that is a possible scenario if the Knights can hold on here. North Hagerstown discussing their options. They're facing an uphill battle, 4th and 19, 4th and 20. But with 8:15 to go, you have to punt here back by your own 30-yard line. But they're going to fake it.
Evans.
Wow.
Tommy Evans launches the pass. Intercepted by Riggs. Middletown will have it in North territory if the Hubs can make the stop. And Riggs down at the 45. So an interception by Justin Riggs on a faked punt. Tommy Evans threw the pass. He had thrown one other pass this year. And that time it's unsuccessful.
Well, you get the sense that could possibly seal the deal, especially if the Knights come up with a score following this Riggs interception. That's why they called the timeout, to discuss this play. I thought they were going to kick it away and rely on their defense, but feeling the pressure, down by 2 scores late in the game, they try a fake and it doesn't work.
This is Linehan on the run. Linehan down to the 27-yard line, a gain of 20. Linehan with 2 touchdowns rushing in this game. 2 passing, a penalty marker down. Face mask against the Hubs.
Penalties here. Yeah, these are big penalties, these face masking penalties. The officials are looking for it, and they're appropriately calling it another personal foul variety, so they add 15 yards on to the end of the play. And that's just a thing of execution and technique. You're getting frustrated. You're trying to make a play, and you got to get away from that helmet. You got to get away from that face mask. And Middletown is 1 or 2 plays away from almost icing this thing with inside 8 minutes to play.
1st and 10 at the 13. And here is Hargett, his 2nd touchdown. So Hargett on a trick play, 13 yards for a touchdown. TD number 2 for him in the game and number 6 on the season.
Linehan really fakes the football well. It's almost like a play action in reverse. You know, a play action, you fake the handoff and drop back the pass. Well, the way he hands off, it almost looks like he's tucking it in, then wants to run with it, and it freezes the defense just enough. And Jimmy Hargett had all kinds of room on the left side and finds the end zone for the 6th Middletown touchdown tonight. And with a 17-point lead, they'll again try and go for 2 here.
41-24 Middletown. Fake, and then the pass to Riggs. Riggs stretches it in. He got it. 2-point conversion for Riggs on the 2nd or maybe 3rd effort. 43-24 Knights. They have 3 rushers with over 50 yards in the game. Linehan 52, Hargett with 60 yards and 2 TDs. Riggs with 92 to lead the way. 4 touchdowns rushing.
We'll start with the 2-point conversion. It's a swing pass. Play action. Linehan comes near side to Hargett. Watch the effort here, or by Riggs. Beautiful 2nd effort. Able to get across the goal line for the 2-point conversion. And getting back to the touchdown now by Jimmy Hargett. For a second there, you thought Linehan was going to keep it and roll out. It freezes the defense. Lots of room on that left side. And Hargett goes in untouched for the touchdown. Here it is again. Almost hits the deck, but able to maintain his balance. Keep the knee from hitting the ground. Gets a block near the goal line and goes in for the score.
So just 7:35 remaining. 43-24 is the score. Another short drive. 2 plays, 47 yards, 26 seconds. That's been the story of this game. Both these teams scoring very quickly, but Middletown, since near the end of the 1st quarter, really took control of the game after they trailed 14-7. They evened the score and then took the lead 21-14, and they haven't looked back since. North made it interesting at 29-24, but 2 straight touchdowns for the Knights. Evans on the reverse, and now McMillan is nailed with nowhere to go, as Tony Boyer is there to make the stop. Rushing yards, Middletown dominating, 201-42. Less than 2 yards a carry for the Hubs. Total yards, advantage Middletown by more than 100. It wasn't like that early, though, folks. You didn't see the early part of the game. North Hagerstown came out of the gates electrifying with touchdowns on their first 2 possessions. But the Middletown defense settled in, and they've held them to 10 points since. Diez Johnson. It takes about 6 Knights to finally get Johnson to the ground as he crossed the 25, a gain of about 6, maybe 7. The clock is the factor now. 7:12 left, and it's running.
Very difficult offense to come back down 3 scores with this much time. They still like to run the football primarily, although they were going to the pass early in the game and completed their first 10 passes of the night. But going back to their bread and butter, Diez Johnson, who's been a huge part of their offense throughout the season. Now they spread things out with 4 wide receivers, but again run the ball.
Diez Johnson is taken down by Cochran. Rob Cochran with another stop, came into the game with 17 tackles and an interception. Had a big pick in this game. That was kind of a momentum swinger. That was, when it was 29-24. Cochran got the pick. Middletown ended up scoring, and now they've added another touchdown. 6.5 minutes to play.
Well, the running game's been outstanding tonight. Kevin Linehan's had a great game, but it still starts with that defense and 2 big turnovers and that safety.
Diez Johnson again corralled. Nowhere to go. So the Knights defense getting stronger as the game goes on. Well,
they've been great all year. 6.4 points allowed. A Turnover margin of +17, which of course is the offense and defense combined, but they have picked off 21 passes this year coming into tonight's ball game. Less than 70 yards per game allowed on the ground.
42 sacks.
Yeah, 42 sacks is phenomenal.
Kelso flares it out. It's completed. Alec Nelson breaks free. Nelson down inside the 30, and probably another face mask penalty.
Guys are hitting high, guys are grabbing high, and we've seen a lot of face masks in this ball game tonight. But more importantly for North Hagerstown, Alec Nelson able to pick up a huge play here after the catch. As you get the face mask call against the Knights, you think you might want to get out of bounds, but he's able to juke 2 defenders and stay in bounds and pick up more yardage. Nelson wide open on an out pattern, and go out of bounds. No, I'm going to take my defender out, get him on the ground, and pick up another 20-30 yards. And Nelson's able to do this. And right there is the face mask. A little bit of a tug. Tack on the yardage. Now down to the 20 or so.
Ball at the 23-yard line. Sumlin to the 21, a gain of 2. Nelson, that was his 4th catch. He's over 100 yards. And receiving, leading the way for the North Hagerstown receiving corps. 2nd and 8 from the 21. The time is running out on the Hubs. They need 3 touchdowns. 5:05 left. Kelso fires right side. Incomplete. Intended for Bayman. So Nelson 4 catches, 109 yards. Hasan has 92 yards and a touchdown.
Well, Bayman couldn't hold on. The ball was catchable just off his fingertips. Play results in a 3rd down with 5:01 to go. And the Hubs have not quit. They've battled back throughout the game. And looking at their roster, Diez Johnson's a junior. They have 3 underclassmen on the offensive line, so some guys will be coming back for next season. And they're playing hard here at the end of this ball game despite being down 3 scores.
3rd and 8 from the 21. Intercepted. And that should do it. Penalty marker is down. And Linehan, I think, has sealed the deal to be the player of the game. An interception, 2 touchdown passes, 2 touchdowns rushing. Flag down after the interception, I believe.
It might have been illegal use of the hands or something on the block by the return team following the pick. The penalty occurred after the change of possession. Middletown will keep the football. They'll just mark it off from the spot of the foul. That's why you work the tip drill. The ball was tipped right to Kevin. Pretty easy pick in this case. And with only 2 timeouts and less than 5 minutes to go, North Hagerstown, their season's about to come to an end. But they will mark off this penalty from the spot. And this will back up Middletown to about the 6. We'll see it again. Kelso had time going across the middle, just overthrows his intended target, which was Bayman. And the pick there by Kevin Linehan. And there's the hold right there on the return. Again, marked off from the spot of the foul back inside the 10-yard line.
Well, the ball's about where Linehan picked it off. 1st down play on the ground. This is Hargett. Hargett to the outside. Hargett down the sidelines and out to the 40-yard line. A gain of about 34 for Hargett. And now he's close to 100 yards rushing.
He's had a great game. He runs hard. As we said, not very big earlier, 5'7", 175, 2 hands on the football there, which is wise late in the game, and all kinds of real estate down the near sideline. Jimmy Hargett, Justin Riggs, both have had very productive games on the ground.
97 yards now on 9 carries for Hargett. 2 touchdowns in this half. Riggs, 16 carries, 92 yards. Linehan, 9 carries, 52. And he has 2 scores. So the Middletown running game has been very tough. Over 250 yards on the ground for the Knights. 1st and 10 from the 39. This is Riggs trying to spin free and is in the grasp and stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain. So clock still rolling, down to 4:25. There you see Hargett's numbers.
He's had a great ball game. That touchdown, that last possession, began the end, if you will, the finishing touches on this football game tonight. Middletown 4 minutes away from the state Final Four.
The toss to Riggs. And then Riggs lowers his head, is out to the 45, a pickup of 6. So now Riggs has matched Hargett, each with 98 yards in the game.
Nothing cute, nothing fancy here. 2 hands on the football. Run the football to work off the final moments of the game clock. 3:40 and counting. The Hubs have 2 timeouts, but down by 19. It's doubtful they'll use them. Middletown is 1 or 2 first downs away from making this official.
3 interceptions by the Knights in this game. 3rd down and 5. They fake the reverse, and the first down run by Juris Eiler as he tiptoes down the sidelines to the 41-yard line. A gain of 14 on Eiler's first carry.
Well, they've used that play twice tonight. The fake reverse, a decoy. They use Kline there as the decoy. And that's been the story of this season for Middletown. Their turnover margin, plus 17 coming into tonight's ball game. That's very, very impressive. Tack on another positive 2 with their effort tonight.
1st and 10 from the 41. Not much there. Caden Robinson in the middle of the pack there for North. Still playing hard. With 2:40 left and his team down by 3 scores.
He's a big guy.
Rob Michaels is in now at the quarterback position for Middletown. Number 19.
Yeah, Michael's the QB, and Richard Fries gets his first carry of the night. Richard a $101, 1 touchdown on 16 carries through 11 games. So Coach Ridenhour getting a few other faces out there now.
Fries averaging 16 yards a carry. This is Michaels. Takes off, breaks free. Inside the 30, down to the 23. Before Sumlin made the tackle. So Michaels with an 18-yard run.
Well, Michael's doing a nice job getting outside. He's a good athlete, plays cornerback on defense. 2 interceptions this year, and he's also carried the football 18 times on the year. Coming into tonight, coming in mop-up duty for Kevin Linehan.
He's thrown 10 passes for 78 yards. 3 touchdown passes for Michaels in spot duty as the backup.
Yeah, 5 completions, 3 TDs, not too shabby.
The pitch goes to Juris Eiler. Eiler breaks a tackle or 2, gets loose at the 10, and Eiler down to the pylon. Touchdown! Juris Eiler, a 23-yard touchdown run. It's 49-24.
Well, Middletown just blowing things open right now. This game's going to be one of those contests where you can say it was a little bit closer than what the score is going to indicate, given the fact it was a 5-point game in the 3rd quarter. But Middletown just pouring it on here. Juris Eiler able to break about 3 tackles and find the end zone for the first time tonight and 10th time this season. Although it might be coming back.
Penalty marker down.
I beg your pardon. A holding call is going to negate it. It'll still be first down. So no touchdown for Eiler.
That would have been his 10th score of the year. It's coming back.
He does a great job in being able to break the tackle. He dives for the pylon. The pylon is part of the end zone. If the ball hits the pylon, it's a touchdown, but it becomes a moot point with the hold. It's marked off from the spot of the foul, so a rare 1st and 12 for Middletown.
Juris Eiler cut down. Loss of a yard on the play. Caden Robinson played a tough game. He's had a great season. Over 150 tackles on the year now.
Yeah, officials timeout. He's going to have to check off the field as he gets up very slowly. He's been a warrior tonight. What a tough young man, and he's had a great season. All-conference player, I'm sure.
Great career, senior.
142 tackles in 11 games.
A lot of tackles. Minute 5 left in the game. Juris Eiler. He's subdued. Wrapped up by Campbell. Another senior's had a great career. Billy Campbell came into this game 86 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries. 3rd and 14 upcoming. Maybe time for one more play. Clock down to 35 seconds. So Middletown will win its 11th consecutive game. 11-1 now on the season. They'll be in the Final Four.
Wicomico is a possibility. Patuxent, Edmondson, a very good McDonough team.
Fries with the carry, and that will do it. Final seconds will tick off. Middletown wins it 43-24 as they totally dominated, especially in the second half. The defense, after giving up touchdowns on North's first 2 possessions, got tough, and offensively they rolled up over 470 yards. We'll be back to talk to Coach Ridenour and our player of the game after this. Final score, Middletown wins the 2A West region 43-24 over North Hagerstown.